everybody, it's Farmer Casper, and I'm here today to talk about our incubator and the things that eggs need in order to hopefully hatch in 21 days. The other episode, we talked about the 4 things that chicken eggs need in order to hatch in 21 days. They need warmth, they need moisture, air, and they need to be turned. So today I thought I would talk about why they need each of those things. Warmth, of course, is important for all living things. Without warmth, we would all pass away. So we want to keep our eggs the temperature that Mother Hen would keep them as she sits on them in the nest. Air, of course, is pretty easy to get to our chicks because air is all around us, and when the air gets inside that incubator, the air, of course, is outside the egg. So how does it get inside the egg? Well, the really cool thing about that is that the egg, believe it or not, has little teeny tiny holes in its shell. And even though you don't see them with your eyes, it takes a microscope to see them. They actually are there. So when the air is around the eggs, it is actually being absorbed into these small holes in the shell of the chicken egg. The same goes for water. Now, water is kind of interesting because Mother Hen would not put her eggs inside a container of water. As I shared with you before, that would drown her babies. But what does happen is those same holes where the air is absorbed into the egg to help the baby chick to grow and develop the way it should, that's how water moisture gets in there too. Believe it or not, water comes in lots of forms, and sometimes it's so small you cannot see it without a microscope. It's called water vapor. And so around the eggs inside the incubator are little droplets of water rising up, evaporating up from the tray that's holding the water, and it's going around the eggs and getting inside of them to give the chick inside that's now growing air and water. Now, Mother Hen, she would not roll her eggs down to the water, of course. What she does instead is when she sits on her eggs, believe it or not, she sweats on the eggs, and that gives her chicks water inside the egg. If you think about it, if you've ever had anybody sit on you for a little while, pretty soon you got real warm and there was probably some water, some moisture between you and the other person who was sitting on you, or you were sitting on someone else. So the last thing is the coolest thing, and that's the turning of the eggs. Remember, all eggs, in order to hatch, need warmth, moisture, air, and to be turned. Now, as I said before, Mother Hen would turn the eggs all the times that they need inside her nest. But since the hens and Farmer Sion shared the eggs with us inside our incubator's turner will turn the eggs when they need to be turned. And they do it so carefully and so gently. Now you might ask, why do the eggs need to be turned? Well, I have the story that I think can kind of help little ones to understand. It's sort of like as the baby chick grows inside the egg, it is very safe in there, but it needs to be turned so that as it grows bigger and bigger and stronger, all of the blood and the food and the air and all that gets in there, all of that needs to be moved around. And that way each of those good nutrients get to the chick in the right way. It's sort of like, if you think about, have you ever gone to sleep and all of a sudden You wake up because your arm or your leg is sort of tingly. In fact, people call it, did your arm fall asleep? Well, if you ever had that happen, it's your body's way of saying, wake up or move me, because you're stopping the blood from getting around in that appendage, in that arm or that leg or your foot. So the same goes for baby chicks. As they're growing, we want them to be moving around to be sure that they're not always on one side, because if they are, it's a possibility that they might be born with some kind of a problem, like that they didn't have a wing, or they don't grow a certain leg. So we always want to turn them to make sure that the nutrients are getting to the baby in the right way. So there's one more thing that I want to share with you real quick that all chickens need inside the egg. Like all living things need, they need food. That was the fifth thing that I hadn't talked about the other day. Now you're going to ask me, how would we feed a baby chick growing inside of an egg? They can't make food microscopic. Well, good news. Mother Nature, she figured it out. The hens know. Inside the egg, there is a wonderful yolk. And if you've ever had eggs for breakfast, you might ask Mom and Dad to show it to you. It's the big yellow glob that's inside the egg. And believe it or not, that is food for us when we eat chicken eggs, and it is food for the baby chick as it grows inside the egg. So enough for today. I'll see you again soon. Thank you.